I am timid to go outside today, but I just missed a Matrix plane. Oh, I can't believe I'm actually laughing here. I can't believe that every time I hear a Matrix plane now go overhead, I'm like, oh, that's a Matrix plane. I must go out and videotape. I can't believe that. That's ridiculous. It made me laugh, if nothing else, because in the past, about 6, 8 months ago, I dread those jets coming over, like they were so low and big and intimidating, to be honest. Whereas now I'm like, oh, that's a lovely little Matrix plane. The only thing is, there's a lot of Matrix people out there. Oh dear, but I don't know what's happened to me today. I'm so sorry. Um, well, oh, I was actually depressed only about a minute ago before I turned this mobile on because I wasn't going to make a video. Like, I actually sent a few out because I've got so many little ones that have been backed up that I have to delete in order to make room to make this one even. So if they're all out of sequence, I'm sorry about that. The bright sun was 2 days ago. You know, try to concentrate here, get back. Matrix plane. Oh, I'm going to be in trouble for laughing at the Matrix plane. I'm not laughing at the Matrix plane. I think they're cute. So please do not please Matrix God, do not strike me down dead for actually raising the vibration temporarily because your planes are so cute. You see, the Matrix is in a diabolical little game at the present time because naturally, the Matrix has to sometimes give up something in order to then do something else because it's playing its game all the time. So the Matrix probably doesn't like that it doesn't send the jets over anymore. But at the same time, like I've said before, it's a game, so it's like we don't need the jets now so much because the Matrix can keep its Matrix system running, by other means. And maybe at the present time, the Matrix actually, as we well know, can subdue the frequency and the vibration, or the human, if you want to really just put it bluntly. Let's not be fancy here. I get, call a spade, as they used to say. It's about time we did just call a spade instead of calling it like they used to say in the old days. A lot of people want to call a spade a shovel or something else, or a little cleaning device or something. It doesn't matter. Or someone said to me when the Matrix first started opening up, and when I say someone, I mean just a random person on the street, a young fella, and, just in passing, shall we say. And I heard it from many other people too. It is what it is. And I thought, what a strange thing that everyone is saying now. It is what it is. And I'm almost like at that time, because that was when the Matrix first opened up and showed itself to me 3.5 years ago. Very early on that war was. And I thought to myself, and I think I've mentioned this before, I thought, how strange that people are saying this. It is what it is. It's almost as if to say, it is what it is, accept what it is. And at the time I thought, you just accept everything as it is. A bit like in the old movie Lawrence of Arabia, where the Englishman went to Arabia, because it's Lawrence of Arabia, without, I'm being funny here, I can't help it. Must be something funny happening today. Maybe I'm just so depressed that I have to temporarily laugh, because actually I don't feel positive at all. But that's human beings for you. That's why the Matrix isn't keen on human beings, because we do tend to go all over the place. Matrix wants you to stay in a stable, depressed state. Oh dear. Oh dear. any rate, yeah, in Lawrence of Arabia. Oh, look, I hope you don't think that I've been drinking too much coffee or something else, because I actually haven't. Like, I haven't even had coffee yet. I could do with the coffee, actually. I will get one a bit later, hopefully. That's if I can. Um, I've lost track. These videos are supposed to be about the Matrix and this terrible tragedy of this Earth world, and you know, its battle with the battle of the gods or whatever, all this sort of stuff that I have no idea what I'm talking about. And I really don't care, to be honest. I've had it, as you can probably imagine. So in Lawrence of Arabia, you know, Lawrence of Arabia, which was an Englishman, went to Arabia supposedly. I assume all this is true. How would I know? I never went with him. You know, as you can see, I don't know what to believe these days, and I basically believe nothing. You know, I only believe what I see with my own eyes. But if I get information and that backs up what I see with my own eyes, then I'll make a video, or I will say to someone, I think this is so. I know it's so myself. You know, I still have a lot to know, obviously. But, you know, oh, I'm having trouble with the mobile. I don't think I can hold it much longer for the video. I've got it in one hand and I've got this in another hand. I'm trying to get out the door, even though I was actually timid to go out the door. I was going to just do this up at the bedroom window, which feels, you know, you're still inside the house. But I thought, oh, I've had it. What difference does it make? And I don't have to put the video out. I usually do, because if you feel that you're only talking to a few people, obviously, if I was putting this video out to 1 million people, I wouldn't put it out. But if you know that it's the same as talking to someone over the back fence, like in the old days, that's why I do. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't. But, you know, that laughing, actually, I think I actually look a bit better today. I'm not quite sure why. At least what I'm looking at. Usually I look back at myself because I'm looking at the thing that it's almost hard to do that. But what was I saying? Yeah, in Lawrence of Arabia, you know, that was what was said all the time. It was like, you know how I said it is what it is. People say it is what it is. Or they were saying that about 2-3 years ago, a lot of people. In Lawrence of Arabia, that was kind of like when he went to Arabia, the people of Arabia that lived in the desert all the time, their attitude was when the Englishmen tried to change things, shall we say, or tried to, or objected to things, or even just questioned things, or whatever, you know, and thought that, you know, they were being fooled or whatever, all this sort of stuff. Those that were in Arabia, their attitude and the line of the movie was always, you know, like when the Englishman would question something and say, why did you do that? Why, you know, why this, why that? I think that was not a good thing to do. They would just say, it is written. In other words, it was meant to be. It happened because it was meant to happen. Everything that happens is meant to happen. So accept it. Don't get upset by it. Don't query it. Don't question it. Don't try to change it. That was very much. And the funny thing is, if you watch that movie Lawrence of Arabia, which I had seen years and years ago, in fact I was actually forced to see it, to be honest, I won't go into details, you know, I now think, it's interesting with that movie who was right or wrong there, because certainly while you're watching the movie you think, oh yeah, you shouldn't just say everything, it is written, everything is written and therefore it's a played out script. Well, we certainly are in a played out script reality. I'm trying to go out the door. Goodness gracious, I wonder if I don't think I can turn this phone round. I don't think I can press the button to get it round to where I can just view the outside, which is going to make it rather awkward for me. I don't know why I can't do that. You know, I'm starting to get stressed now, whereas I was laughing, see, inside there, because just for a few seconds I was thinking more in terms of just communicating with one as opposed to the matrix. Now I'm going out here very gingerly. I hope I am not funny. This is 2 days after that bright sun. Now look, people, this is the God entity's day today in a way. Well, actually I could say it's a battle because look, can I turn it round? Oh, look. There's my bin out there. I'm number 3, Henry Street, Leichhardt, in Sydney, Australia. Church is opposite, almost opposite over there. Not quite opposite, but just a bit. I hope I'm not holding this properly. I have to close the door because otherwise the dog will get out. Because, you know, he's, even though he's very old and can't see where he's going, he will still make a beeline for that door to get out to create more confusion, because that's what he basically does. Now, I don't think I'm filming this very good, but I'm not really filming anything. I'm just showing. Oh yeah, there's always someone on Henry Street. I don't think most of it comes out on the video because they're too far away, but there is lurking meanderings just down the end at the dead end there. And of course, when you're aware, like me, of the matrix, everything comes to life. Like you take in the whole street almost when you come out. And that, of course, is how the matrix wants it too. It's planned that way, to where you are always aware that you're not your own person, that you're not, that you're not like I'm not sure, but look at that, and I'm just going to let the pictures speak for themselves, because don't forget the matrix does play possum when I put the thing out, but I can hardly hold the mobile, to be honest. It's starting to vibrate on my hand. I shall have to try and grab it with 2 hands, and I don't know if I can do that without it going off. See, there's my bin. I'm number 3. I'm actually right in the centre today, which is unusual. That's not sure what that means. As you know, I think everything has I'm not sure if all this is coming out. I'm not sure, but that, look at that wind. The matrix God today. The matrix God today. Yeah, so we have people up on the balcony up there going down the street. They're all connected, those people. You might think that's strange, but they're actually all one. All the people on the street are, although they appear to, see, I'm a single entity, but they are not. They are all combined. They are all connected. Like this internet and this whole technological world. I don't know if you can hear me. Oh, this is 2 days after the sun, but there's a battle going on here. If you want to look at it, just, oh gee, I've got dust in my eye there. If you want to look at the sky and nature and everything that I point this camera at as a frequency vibrational battle between gods, if you want to really take it into fairyland and into some sort of mystical past or whatever, I don't know. I like to keep it simple. In my own head I have it very simple, but for the videos I like to go a little bit, I keep it subtle, but at the same time, a lot of people coming on the street now, you notice, like I'm just standing outside my place and this is like just a small dead-end street, but you notice how people are coming onto the street just for no reason. Like they just pulled in and they walk up, but they're connected to the one that went down and the one at the top of the balcony, to everyone that's around. They all know what's going on. They know I'm filming and they know I'm talking, but they laugh at me. They say, like, she's just a fool. This is our matrix. But that was where yesterday, not yesterday, the day before, when I did the one sun for one day. But it's not really, it's like, if you look at today, I'm just going to try. I don't even know what I'm filming here, but look, I'm trying to get the camera around. Oh, wow. Now, the sun now, today, also, this wind is blowing up. That's the God entity. Look, blowing up. Can you hear it or see it? I'm trying to show the wind blowing, but I can't show it. Oh, this video is probably going to look stupid again. I don't know. See, I'm not quite opposite that church. If anyone ever happens to come to Sydney, I'm down Henry Street, stuck down Henry Street, really stuck in it. I shouldn't say that. I'm down Henry Street. There's a church opposite, gee, they're obliging today, I must say. But there's a church opposite. I'm feeling embarrassed here, so I shall, even though they should be embarrassed, but I'm going to show you. This is, oh dear, I'm getting into, I don't think this is, I hope it's, is it still coming out? Am I still here? I don't even know what I'm actually filming here, but I'm going to try to show. So we actually have well, I'm just going to try to show you the matrix today. Look, I'm just going to speak it as best I can. Look, behind me I have a car that just pulled in, but he's not, the car pulled in, but as you can see, he would just sit in the car and not get out, not do anything, and just sit there while I'm here. Oh, looky, look. Oh, the matrix is getting me today, but look, here it is. Here's my, here comes my little mate up. I don't know if I'm getting him in. Are you coming in, Putty? This is, oh, that's Putty. Am I getting Putty in or not? That's my big boy cat. You know, he's come up from just down there, because this is daytime. He normally comes up more after dark for his supper. And I'm getting blown to bits here in this matrix. Today, the God entity is showing his power today. It's funny, she lives across the road actually, but she sat in the car there for ages before I'm getting blown to bits here, look at me. Can you see? I'm getting blown to absolute bits because we have a bit of a battle going on. I don't know if this is coming out in film, but we're having, see, I'm just standing here and the car will just randomly pull in right in front of me. They're obliging today. I would have thought they'd have been a bit playing possum. Maybe because their God is blowing up today with that wind. Look, wow. That they're like, hey, we're not frightened of you and your mobile phone, because we all have mobiles and they're ours. And there's Putty. Hello, Put. I can't get Putty. Come on, Putty. Say hello. I'm making a funny cat video again now. This mad matrix has made me mad, as you can see. I start off mad. And, oh, I don't know what I'm saying or what I'm doing. I'm getting blown to bits out here. Oh, I'm starting to actually look a bit crazy there because I'm getting blown to bits. Yeah. But look at the. Just get that. Oh, I don't know if I'm getting a good picture there or not. It's a bright one today. Was that a good picture? Well, that's my neighbours. They like the colour orange. It's the latest fashion in Leichhardt. I don't know what's going on here, to be honest. I'm starting to lose it, as you can see. And I'm getting blown to bits, so I look ridiculous. Oh, that's because that wind is so solid. Look at it. Look at that wind. Look at the tree. You know, that this matrix today, that was the orange colour. So as you can see, I'm surrounded by orange jackets. You know, that's, you know, like I'm laughing, but it's not funny at all. Not at all, really, to be honest. But today, as we had the one sun for the day, and the sun was up there, I showed it to you. So we have a battle going on today because we have, let me see if I can try to just visually, God entities blowing up a gale today, absolutely blowing it up. I'm getting blown to bits. It's not as cold as what I would have expected, considering normally that wind would be very cold. But see how we've got the God entity blowing up the gale of a wind. I don't know if it's coming out on the video or the sound or anything. And then we have yesterday or the day before when I had the one sun for one. It was just there near the telegraph pole, which is, you know, and today it's over the roof of the house, but it's bright today too, but it's a battle. See how it's, oh, look at that. See, that is a battle. That is a battle, people. I'm sorry about saying it like that, but I can't, I'm trying to, I don't know if it's coming out or not. That is a battle. Oh, listen. Woody, is that a battle, Dale? Is that a battle? Woody said yes. Is you coming out? I can't see what I'm filming. Oh, you know, Woody said can't make up his mind about Woody said can't make up his mind. People down there too, but can't make up his mind. Oh, there's actually a taxi pulled up there too, now that I think of it. I just go to my garbage. See, I'm number 3. And the church is opposite, and we have like the taxi pulled up there, which that taxi actually will not go anywhere. You just pull up and sit in the middle of the road and observe me talking on a mobile, basically. But the church is opposite me. See, the church is opposite. I'm opposite that church. I'm not directly opposite. I'm like, as you can see, there we go. That's like the church is opposite, but not opposite like it's about like 2 doors down on the other side of the road. We have they all just you know, on Henry Street they like to pull up in front of you and get out in front of you. But we have the church opposite. I'm not gonna point out. Oh, nearly trod on the cat. Poor little putty. Sorry about that, Dar. Sorry about that. I nearly trod on you. See, the Matrix has got me all over the place with all the people going down the side there and coming up. And there we have the 13 cab going down. He will come back and go away. he just happened to drop someone off that just went past me down the back, That is just showing you that that you're in a matrix, basically. Wait on. I'm just going to use nature again to show the matrix. See how that sky? See how now the sun has gone behind that cloud there. It's losing its thing. The matrix is getting on top. The God entity is blowing up a gale. This day will probably notice how all the sky is. The clouds are all coming over. I'm very obvious out here, very uncomfortable to be honest. But that sky is but it's still trying to break through. The sun's trying to break through again, but it can't do it today. Probably not greatly, but it's still there. And with that wind blowing up, it is a windy woo. That's what I always say, a windy woo.
Hello, Jeff, how are you? Very windy.
Yes, it's a windy day. And I can go into bits here. The matrix is a strange place in the sense that, it is what it is, as I just said, or is it written, all this sort of stuff. See, a lot of people think that everything is written. So they want to be on what they think is the winning side, I suppose, really, if you look at it that way. Now, I got blown to bits here, as you can see. And, so maybe I should go inside because, and explain the rest of it. But, it's gone quiet again now, so, oh well, maybe not. There is, activity directly opposite where, people just come out their house. But then again, they would say, well, she just come out her house. Yeah, but I don't do this normally. This is like, just come out and go to the letterbox or whatever. But the point is that that's random matrix activity. But when you sort of get, everyone, one person coming out of the house 1 second and then a little bit later someone else a bit further down, that would, all I can say is that in the old world, and when I say the old world, I mean like going back a few years, and the further back you go, at least in my lifetime, that just wouldn't happen. I mean, I used to live when I was, I'm feeling a bit odd standing out here, but I used to live, I'm getting totally convoluted. The Matrix is making me look a fool even on a video. Thank goodness that the people that listen are mad like me, or in touch, depending on how you want to see it. You can take it any way you want. I'm not just going to change my way of looking at things, whether it's, I don't know how anyone couldn't think it's a strange world anyway, so whichever way you look at it. But there's Putty. And that's Putty. Well, that man's come out down the road there again too. See, even that down the back, just where I live, you had 3 people go down there when there's only actually 4 places, just in the short space of the time when I was on this mobile, when I come out here just for a little time in one day. Now we have Matrix people coming on the street. See, that lady's come from nowhere almost from nowhere, but I'm not going to be obvious here, but you know, we do. Oh, yeah, see, she's just so you notice how this is the matrix surrounding you, if you want to look at it this way. This is not a very good video, I know, but you know, that is just the matrix. And I'm moving the camera around so that I'm not too obvious, even though it's a matrix, so it makes no difference. But you know, like, these are all cars that are just around me. In other words, that car there, right? That car there, pulling out now. That car just pulled in. That car there just pulled in. All on the video, all around me in the space of a short space of time. That's the best way that I could explain the matrix. And there's a fella down the end there, but I'm not going to bother even putting oh, there you go. See, he's actually now starting up noise, and he's not even a street person. He's just a normal person in a house with that wind blower. And he's got headphones on his own ears, as you can see, and he just come out to blow the wind. That's just letting me know that he is in with the noise, the matrix noise. Matrix street, local level noise situation. You know, and see, that noise is actually going in my ears even right now while I'm making the video. That's to intercept the video. There we have someone coming out of their house over there. I don't know whether you can see that or not. This is just random matrix. So actually, you're looking at almost, you know, if I stood here long enough, you would see everyone almost coming out of most houses, and cars pulling in outside of particular houses. That fella's just making a noise down there with a random one. Here we have, yeah, see, she's pulling out in front now. Notice how she pulled in and is now going, and brushed her hair in front of me as she went past. Basically, she pulled in. I'm not sure even what she actually did or what house she went into, and now she's pulled out. I don't think she actually... No, she didn't go into a house. She walked up from the street, that's right. So that's strange. So she walks up from down a dead-end street, gets into a car, sits in it for a little while, and then pulls out. See, this is the mindset of the matrix people. And I cannot explain that except by showing you this, that they are doing activities that are nonsensical, in a sense. I know that there will be a rational explanation. If you actually ask someone what they were doing, they would have a rational explanation. Or they could even say, just mind your own business, because after all, it's their matrix, so they can do what they like. And that's actually fair enough. I would agree with that. But they're not randomly minding their own business and doing what they want. They are part of a matrix. And that's all I am expressing in, you know, in what I'm expressing or saying, or I don't know what I'm saying or expressing half the time, because... Oh, there we go. We won't bother with that fella because, but he's next door. So next door's just come out and is now walking on the middle of the road, down the centre of the road. And he just waved to someone. And that is next door. You see what I'm trying to say? You notice how all, just in the short space that I'm talking into the mobile, you have matrix people, and I say matrix people because they're all in conjunction. Either that or they're all technologically controlled by the matrix God entity and don't know what they're doing. Well, that's another way of looking at it. That would make it a real fairy tale, real video game, wouldn't it? But I have no idea, of course. But I think that they are conscious. But when I say conscious, I mean, in other words, aware of what they're doing and whatever. But, but then again, if we're talking about possession, which is another issue, it's a cart pulling out there. See how it's just pulling out and going away? And this is all just within a few houses of where I'm standing. Is that right, Putty? Putty, we're not going to do the possessed cat thing, I don't think, today. This is a very uncomfortable world to be living in if you're a real person, in a way, I have to say. I can't help but say it. But that wind is blowing up. I wasn't even going to come out today because I didn't have the gumption to sit outside with the thing, but I just thought I would show that the wind was blowing up, and now I'm making a video. So, and I'm running late because I do need to pick up some groceries. Oh, look at the ibis bird. Look at the ibis bird. He's flown. Oh, I didn't get him. I think I can't get him. Oh, where are the matrix planes? Oh, come on, matrix plane. Let's go out with a matrix plane. But see, they're not. Let's go out with a matrix plane. Car going out, pulled out just from over there. So basically all the cars on the street just pull in and out one by one. Oh, there's a little bird on the thing, look. Little bird on the thing. And the sun has gone behind all the murky cloud. Look at it. Yeah, the matrix God's getting on top. The matrix is getting on top now. Look at that. Look at that sky. See how it was all blue before and the sun was even there? What do you say, little birdie? On top today, and as usual, there we go, pulling right in. As if to say, yeah, we're on top. We're on top. It doesn't take long for them to get on top. It takes a lot to not. See how many people have gone down that side. Some of them will, of course they will speak to you and smile and say hello and all this sort of stuff. But I think that fella down there is starting up with the noise again. See how he's come back out again with the noise, with his wind blower? He's just showing you that he's of the matrix too down there, you see? See how he's just going to come with that? He's just, there's nothing, like this is a windy gale day and he's out there with a wind blower blowing leaves around. He would not even be able to physically catch those leaves with this gale wind blowing up. It's almost a gale. Well, it's pretty strong anyway. And there he is there blowing with a wind blower. This is the matrix, blowing the leaves around. Like he must be trying to chase them because look at the wind blowing. The wind is blowing it. So that just shows you the logic of the matrix people. Are they logical? Do we live in a logical world? I think that was an old video of mine. And down there we have a car door opening, which you can't probably see. It's not coming out on the video. But see how there's a car down there? And there is a green jacket sticking out the side. It's not coming out. I have to go down, but I'm not going to go down to where that white car is, where there's a green jacket. And here's another car pulling in too. But essentially, see look, we have a fella down there blowing leaves around when there's a gale force wind blowing. There's no logic to that. He is just showing me that he is of the matrix and that he can make matrix noise. you know? See? That's no common sense. And there's someone else coming out as well. I can't see them. I should go down and actually show you, but if I do that, I look so obvious, you know, like as it is, they already know. But that shows you the people of the Matrix. There's a wind blowing up like that is blowing everything everywhere. And he's chasing leaves around with a wind blower, making all that noise with great big headphones on his own ears so he can't hear a thing. They know what they're doing. Or do they? Well, it doesn't matter. Whatever they're doing is negative. Actually, there's two of them down there. See how another fella has come out and he's on the video as well? What do you say, Putty? Are they a little bit out of touch? Or are they in touch? Well, they're in touch in the sense that that they do know what they're doing. You know, they do know what they're doing. See, he is just down there. He's there with the fella blowing a wind blower when the wind is blowing a gale, chasing leaves around. Oh, there we have the lady down there. Well, I'm not sure what it is really, but you know. And, you know, that is, he's dragging that dog, literally dragging that dog. The dog doesn't want to go. Literally dragging the dog, jeez. No, I don't think, oh, that dog doesn't want to go. He's dragging the dog. Huh. He's happy to oblige anyway. Oh, so we have green jackets. That lime green, which is fluoro yellow, I was told, but it's like a very light fluorescent green. It glows in the dark, in other words, that's what I was told. And then the orange jacket, Matrix person driving the car away, just right now that come in front of me, because that person actually does live in my block of flats. You know, but, you know, they have to be part of the Matrix. And, you know, like even if you actually live around an area too, you notice that some people, you know, like they're supposed to, you know, like if I was up at 3 o'clock in the morning, that fella would drive out at 3 o'clock in the morning. It is now 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so he comes out and drives out and supposedly goes to work at 3 in the afternoon. Well, he could be a shift worker. On the other hand, people around here tell me that he doesn't even live here, and yet he is parked in the car park at the back of my place and basically is in here all day. Not that these are relevant things, because I don't really care who lives where or who is what or what their relationships are or whether they're actually living, not, you know, I'm not like some people where they're, you know, so he's just going to pull him down there, and now this green one is going to pull in the green jacket in that car is going to pull right in front of me. I don't understand why the Matrix is obliging me so well for the video today. I would have thought they might have played more possum. But see how he's pulled in there, and even the cat's telling me, and he's pulled in there, right in front of me. So it's basically like, as if to say, you are surrounded by Matrix people. Well, I already know I'm surrounded by Matrix people. I just wonder if they know what they're doing, you know. But there we have the fluoro green jacket. And then we have, I think you call that changing of the guards. I think we call that changing of the guards. Yes, that's what you call changing the cards. I think it's funny, but it's actually not funny. Now, this fella here, he doesn't know what he's doing. He's actually, like, he'll lurk around for a while with the green jacket, and he will lurk around for a while. But at any rate, we'll go off him because he's acting and playing in the Matrix, and we will there see the pretend.
You're not Unit 5, are you?
No, Unit 5 is down the back. No, down the back.
Around the back.
You're right.
Thank you.
You know, so that is the Matrix players. You know, everything appears to be on the surface normal. Of course, you know, I'm not saying that people don't actually do things. Or am I? Yes and no. I'm not saying that people don't actually do some things, but I'm saying that everything is timed, you know, to converge at certain human points, shall we say. That's a matrix. I'm putting it very fancy here, but that's how it kind of is. So, and of course, it could just be, if you want to take it to another level, or a realistic level in a way, where do all these cars come from? I'm wondering where they're all actually coming from. Anyway, where's Pudding? Oh, wow, that is blowing up. Blowing up. Okay, but, just seeing where the cat went. Oh, the rain's starting to come down. The Matrix is, yeah. Oh, look at my little cup blowing around there. Look at that. The Matrix is, I'm sure I've got this mobile all over the place. I'll have to come in. The cat might be of the Matrix in one way, in the sense that it's possessed, but the cat, despite that, still is very frightened of all Matrix people, apart from myself, basically. I don't know why that is, because it is connected to my original big boy cat. When I say my, it's not really my, but it was my friend. You know, Matrix is distracting me with people down there, but the sun's trying to break through. You notice how that fella in the green jacket, he asked me where Unit 5 was. He went down the back there for 2 seconds. He wouldn't have even been able to get to Unit 5, and yet he come back out and got in the car. He wouldn't have even had time to even get to the door of that place, much less go there and do whatever he was supposed to do. And yet he come back out and got in the car. That's Matrix, you know. That is just showing you we are the Matrix, we're watching, we're in the, you know. That's so obvious because, you know, you saw that for yourself. That's Matrix playing at an illogical level, if you want to look at it that way. Like there's no deal. Got blown about a bit out there. It's actually coming up quite cold now. There's a little bit of splits of rain I can feel. So the Matrix is getting on top. The Matrix God entity will turn this day, which actually wasn't so bad a few hours ago, into a miserable day and probably a miserable night, I would imagine. See how it's starting to get dark and gloomy, and that wind is... Oh, Putty's come back round. Putty has come back round. Putty's come back round. See, you might think that it is tragic, and it is, that my only friend is a possessed cat. But that's the way it is. Or is it written? I don't know. You know, who's ever writing this scenario on this matrix is certainly not writing it in my favour or any that are similar. But then again, see, as I say, people, all this matrix, it's getting quite gloomy there now. Yeah, it might even rain. I better move it, actually. I better fold up because I need to get some milk and bread and a few things, and I got to go round the corner down onto the main street, and I will end up being caught in a matrix storm as I was a few weeks ago, and it was not very nice, to be honest. I was very uncomfortable, and at this time of the year you don't want to get completely drenched because silly old me, of course, doesn't even own an umbrella or a raincoat, but I figure if I can get back home quick and try to be quick about it, which is not easy in a matrix because you take the matrix with you wherever you go, so you don't actually be like a real human and put your head down and say, I'm focused, I'm going to the shop, I'm going to get some bread and milk and some things, and I'm going to bring them home. And your main adversary would be the weather. Whereas in the real reality of the matrix, yes, the weather is your adversary. Oh, there's the birds. Can I see the birds and Putty there? And I'll have to do more on Big Boy Cat at some point and explain something, but explain the possession. Hello, little birdies. Bit windy today for you, isn't it? Yeah. But your only adversary should really be, the weather, and focused on getting some milk or some bread. I'll just keep that on the birds. Kind of funny today the way the bins are lined up, and mine is in the centre there, which normally it's sort of pushed. Not that means anything, but in a matrix everything has significance. I think that's what happens when you start to see, the birds are on the bins, yeah. Start to see the what they call synchronicity, but it really just means that you look at something, a bit like in that They Live movie where you look at something and it has significance. You see it as, you see another, you see something written and it may be an advertisement, but it will also mean something personal to you. That's really all it is. And it's everywhere for everyone and anyone to see. But I think mainly humans are the only ones that notice it. And of course, it is really only significant. It isn't, well, actually, it's not really just significant for humans. It is significant even for matrix people, in the sense that, like, for instance, I only am sorry that I can't hold this mobile and take it all the way down Henry Street, which is just down here the corner, and then round onto the main street, which is Norton Street in Leichhardt, where the shops all are, and show you a great big billboard. There's a great big billboard down the main street where it has advertisements. Every so often they'll change it. But every billboard has significance for me, and particularly that big one, because it's a huge billboard. And at the present time, it actually has written on it, the bird is chirping with agreement. That is matrix synchronicity, acknowledging what you're saying. See how the bird did that again? You'd say that's some funny stuff. She talks to the cat, and even the birds say, well, look, that is because the matrix God has dominion over everything. So, if the matrix God entity knows that you know, then it's no holds barred. There's no point in it playing anymore with you. So therefore it's like it can use even the nature of the matrix, or what's around you, anything that's around you, to communicate, to annoy, to this, to that, to all sorts of things, anything it wants to. and it is happy to oblige because if you know because that dog does not want to go for a walk with that man. He's literally pulling it along the street. You know, like he is a dog walker for someone down the back, but it's not very good at it. He's just no good at walking the dog. The dog doesn't want to walk with him, unfortunately. You know, you know, in fact, he's got a terrible grumpy look on his face. But I know I used to walk Simba, the famous Matrix dog who's lying in there now. But I can put him a little bit on film at the present time. But I choose not to. I respect wishes of people, even if it's not really making any sense. Their wishes sometimes. But either way, I've rambled on here. But they seem to have come out in the open today quite freely in some ways. But maybe they are like, she knows, we know, everything is going down. So some of them may be wondering, you know, perhaps, his song goes, one that I listened to, an old one recently. Maybe. I wonder. Some of them might wonder. Because, you see, you can be the Matrix, as these people around here are all of the Matrix. And they're very confident in being of the Matrix. They feel safe being of the Matrix. Now that Miller's car, you know, and he's just coming into the house opposite there. Notice how, like, in just the time I'm making the video, they go in and out of the houses that are around. And all I'm trying to say is that, that Miller's one went up and down quite a few times, just up and down the street. That particular car, because it had Miller's written on it. That's the meanderings of the Matrix. You know, not quite sure why they're all so friendly today, because actually you almost don't expect that. But that's because they know that I know. And there we have another car going by with the orange jacket. 2 orange jackets in those cars. Why are they obliging me? 2 cars back to back with 2 orange jackets inside them. It probably didn't come out on the video because I've now stepped inside the house. What are the chances of that? Is this a random Matrix? Another orange jacket? I don't think it comes out. Another orange jacket in the car. Some people say the significance in the colour of the cars. Well, look, if I kept track of all the significance of all the colours of this Matrix that are hit here, after a while you just say, hey, I don't need to actually keep track of all the colours because, you know, it's all one. It's all the Matrix. So, but where was I? Oh, I lost track of that. Yeah, but there's the billboard. Come back to me. I'm not totally gone, as you can see. I've still got a little bit of mind left. But there's a big billboard down Norton Street, which is just off Henry Street. I'm on Henry Street. Main Street is just around the corner there, past the great big Pioneer Park. You know, I don't know why I'm giving directions. Maybe I'm hoping some humans will turn up one day, because the Matrix people need that. Because they're on a, like I say, they're probably wondering. The Matrix people. I get back on track here. Back to the billboard. So if someone was here, they could remind me. And an orange flag on the end of that truck. That orange colour is also the colour of all they put the sticks up around everywhere with the orange. They do this for me. To irk me a little bit, shall we say, because when they know you're aware of the colour, then they only have to put like the little sticks up everywhere, the little little witches' hats that are the road things. They've been doing that for 3 years with the witches' hats, the orange witches' hats, which is for the roadworks. But most of the time they're not even doing road witch pickup with the things everywhere. In fact, they had them lined up just down past the park here one day. Well, it was for a week or two, not long ago, and for no reason. It was just like as if to say, this is our matrix. It's significant, you see. But either way, I'm having trouble holding this phone up. Oh, I really am. I'm so sorry. It's hurting. My hand is hurting. There we have the Matrix people come out in the house opposite. See, can you see that? Matrix people, see, they're showing me today and showing you that they are all of the Matrix. Actually, because if you notice, so far, we've got quite a few houses where people have come out and showed that in a small street or in the space of the video. But, a lot of them are probably starting to wonder. Can Matrix people wonder? I wonder. But can they actually, say to themselves, that they've felt very safe. Matrix people, I must fold up here, but Matrix people have felt very safe for a long time with their Matrix. Very safe, very confident, because they're if you're part of a whole where you think you are part of something that is in control of everything, where you can control other people, and you are part of that, a bit like being in the army, shall we say, you feel pretty confident knowing that your side has got vast numbers and that they can control everything. And, we have Matrix coming out of the house in front of me. But, when I say Matrix, these people are told when to come out of their houses. They're technologically told when to come out of their houses, when to make an appearance, so we have the usual prams and little ones and dogs. Everyone in Leichhardt has a dog or a pram or some accessory, as I've said before. That is merely so they blend in. Well, they don't have to blend in because they are the majority anyway. There we have the awful lot of white cars today, I must say. That's strange, isn't it? I just noticed that just because I noticed they all seem to be white, but normally I notice a lot of different colours. Because actually I'm not a car person, but since the Matrix opened up, because traffic is a major part of the Matrix, at a noise and at a controlling level, because it's all around you. You notice the car colours and you notice the different cars a lot more. I was never, but that's also how I noticed the Matrix, because if you've always walked along the same street or the same road, you notice if the traffic changes. If you've lived in an area for 25 years and you notice that. I was going to say that, the Matrix people are starting to wonder. I think I might be giving them too much credit here. I certainly know I wonder. But, they've been in control of their world, and me and you, for a long time, whether we're aware of it or not. But, I feel as though I'm reversing the roles today by watching them instead of them usually watching me, but they don't seem to mind. But either way, so I'm turning away, but as you can see, activity around, quite close too. Now, what I'm trying to say is that they might be becoming aware that although they are in control of it all, and of course I will probably have something very wrong here, because it really depends on the awareness of all. I'm going to have to fold up. The phone's ringing. It's getting late and I could be in trouble. But can I just say, pulling out there, as you can see, the random... I don't know if this is coming out on the video because I'm no good at filming with the mobile, because I can't see what I'm actually looking at because I'm just pointing it because I can't see how if I'm framing it correctly. Is that the right description? Yeah, I don't know if I'm framing it. I can frame pictures quite good, but I can't if I can't look through the things, see, because I've got it the wrong way around. But either way, just before I finish, because I have to go, matrix calling, as they say, or matrix intervention. But yeah, they've been in control, and yet, depending on how much they know of the matrix or how much they're given privy, is that the word, into the full matrix or into who they're really operating for. Because at a local level, like around here, people could think we're in control locally. On the other hand, they could be connected to a city matrix type thing. But they may not be connected to a world matrix thing, so therefore they might be wondering what's happening at a world level. You know what I'm saying? In other words, they might be thinking, we've been in control locally of all the people and suppressing me and suppressing, no doubt, whoever else that are like myself. But they might be thinking, are we in control of the, really in control? Like, because this world is now confusing some people, I see. So the maybe and the doubts and the I wonder might be creeping into some of them. I don't know. It should be. That's assuming, where they're connected to. But if you're already at the top and you're like sitting next to the God entity, for instance, supposing in that fantasy way of looking at it, then nothing is going to surprise you. There's not going to be any I wonder or maybe there. It's just going to be a matter of, can we keep the frequency and the vibration of the human low, and can we keep on top and keep our matrix under our control as much as what we want to? Not a plane. Is that a plane? Yeah, very few planes, but that doesn't matter. Not relevant. We've had the cars in a little bit of action and people, etc. And I must fold up because I'm going to be in a problem otherwise in many levels because I'm in a matrix. Putty, is that right, Putty? Putty said yes. And he said, it's a bit cold out there, but it's getting a bit cold. I shall have to... I just want to say one thing before I finish. The dog is giving me the thing there. Can you see him in the background there? I don't know why I'm showing you the dog. I will show you because I don't think I'll be in trouble for showing the dog because this is the Simba dog. He's a bit Simba. He's playing possum too. He's not too keen. That's the famous Simba dog, infamous Simba dog. Oh, he almost looks innocent there at the moment. You see, it puts you in a double mind when you're in a matrix. You know possession, but you still see a frail, weak animal, defenceless in some ways, exploited by the matrix, exploited by people. You get in a double mind, you lose your temper. You wonder if you've made the right choices. You know you've made all the wrong choices because the matrix always gets its upper hand. That makes you then depressed too because you're stuck in the moment now of with an accumulation of negative past mistakes. I have to say that. And just before I fold up, that's Big Boy Cat. You never met my original Big Boy Cat, and you never will. I'm sorry about that, cutting my face off into the half thing there just for a second. I saw that I'm doing this all the time when I make these handheld, candid videos with the mobile, walking around, and I'm not even looking at myself, so I don't know how, if I'm, showing just one eye or one lip or whatever, no, I can't. It's getting to me. But let me just finish. I must get going. Yeah, that they might be wondering, Matrix people, because, like I say, you can think you can rule your own roost. You're unruled. You know what I mean? You're Matrix people, you rule your own roost, which your roost is like, say, Leichhardt, for instance. Could even be Sydney. But you may not rule the whole world. You know that, and so Matrix people feel very powerful and in control because they control me in a local level, at a local area, but they might be wondering if there isn't a higher power, shall we say, because it depends on where you're connected in the Matrix, I would imagine. Like I say, not everyone is on that wind with the God entity, if you follow. I'm talking rubbish here, I know, but I'm not even making the point well, I apologise. I can't do it. But either way, the billboard down the street, right? Huge billboard, halfway down Norton Street, which is the main street of Leichhardt in Sydney, where I live. I keep repeating that, I don't know why. I'm going inside, I'm leaving the Matrix, closing that door and have to move it, and I'll have to go out into that Matrix. See, I was intending to go out a few hours ago and wasn't intending to make a video, but instead brought this mobile phone down and got it out. Just with the intention of showing that the wind was coming up, and as usual I've made a full video, and my hand is aching, and but either way I'll just hold it there while I say that there is a billboard down the main street, huge billboard, and everything that has been written on that over the last 12 months has of course had significance for me, and sometimes it will even be a warning, like they said vast noise coming your way at one stage, because it was an advertisement for some sort of music or some sort of noise device, should we say. It doesn't matter. But when I looked at it, I immediately knew when it says noise, it said incredible noise coming your way, or something like that. Okay? So that was warning me that they were going to send people down the street with vast amounts of noise, which they did. They had a huge truck out here every day. Oh, here we have the Matrix fella coming back that lives just, in my block, and he's come back again now. He's certainly maybe he wants to be a movie star. Well, I hate to tell him this, but being on my pathetical little videos ain't going to make him a movie star. But he's gone in and out, as you can see, and he likes the orange jacket. Now he's pulled over there. He'll walk past and go down the back. He actually doesn't live here, but he does live here. Well, he's only here 24 hours, but it's not relevant. I don't care who lives who or whatever. But, yeah, it is garbage night tonight. I've got to get my bottles out too. Got to get the old bottles out, I don't actually have a bottle or a paper bin, but I just shove them in other people's bins. I actually forgot to put my rubbish out last week because the Matrix got to me, so I was lucky to, that's never happened to me almost in 20 odd years. It's only happened about twice, and that of course has been over the last 6 months, which is kind of strange. Shows you how it's got to me. But either way, maybe some of the Matrix people are wondering, because don't forget that, while Matrix people are watching non-Matrix people like me, in other words, regardless of whether you're technologically connected to technology at any level, or whether you're just a random human like me that just gets about their own business and tries to survive in a certain reality, it doesn't matter, in the sense that, like I say, some of these Matrix people might be now wondering. And wondering why they are spending all their time following, watching non-matrix people that don't tend to do very much, that don't really affect them, that don't really change this reality or this world. Of course we do at a vibrational level, but we don't have power in the matrix. We are not the God entity. We do not have technology. We do not operate this reality. We don't. We don't. Okay, so she does not live here, but she's just going to pull in a white car. Well, I noticed a bit of white cars today. I'm not quite, it must be the colour of the day or something. I don't know. Just noticed that because like I say, I'm not big on this. In fact, I'm just being silly, really. But I won't even bother filming those Matrix ones because it's sad to see the younger people so programmed by the Matrix, and they all are. But don't forget, they're born into a technological computer world even more than myself. I wasn't born into a computer world. But either way, the Matrix is now getting a bit loud with its minions coming onto the street. So I'll close the door up and finish up here. Actually, close them out, close the Matrix out because they're getting loud and it's I just want to say that that billboard down the street, like I say, it always rings a bell or rings true. That's what you call synchronicity of the Matrix, or the Matrix having relevance, or symbolically showing you something, or whatever you want. I don't really understand it all, to be honest. But either way, the billboard at the present time, and has been there for about a month or two, because they change it every few months or whatever, actually says, in huge big letters. Of course it's meant to be an advertisement, but there is really no advertisement. It just says in huge big letters. In fact, if I could take the mobile phone just round the corner there down onto Norton Street, I could show you, but I'm not going to do that, no way. I've had enough, and I don't take this mobile down the street. I would probably drop it and break it or something, and my hand is difficult enough holding it, keeping control of it, without it going off right now. And I must hurry because I realise I'm wanting to finish up this video, but it will cost me something, and I do get sick of that, to be honest. But I'm getting a bit frantic here, aren't I? This is humans in a matrix, not a good omen. But I just say that the big billboard, just written in huge big letters on this huge billboard halfway down the street, the main street of Leichhardt, says, "Thank you to all our frontline workers." That's what it says. That is the Matrix at a local level, thanking all these Matrix operatives, disciples, people, Matrix people that may or may not know what they're really part of, or what the whole world kind of is, if you know what I mean. They may or may not know. I don't know, but it is an open thank you in huge letters. See, if the Matrix doesn't open up and expose itself to you, that means very little. In fact, if you read the small print, maybe if I ask someone what that means, they'd probably say, "Oh, maybe that's thanking the firefighters for the bushfires that were on 6 months ago or something," which doesn't really make sense. But it's basically openly making the people of the Matrix feel more special by acknowledging their effort in their watching, patrolling. They're a lost patrol, as I say, but that is giving them a pat on the back. And so therefore they will continue, and they feel as though they're part of a unified effort that will benefit them somehow. I don't know what they think. This is how it is. This is what they think. This is what they think, because if you're part of a group where you're doing nonsensical patrolling day in and day out, you must think that it benefits you in some way, or you must be rewarded in some way. I'm not quite sure. It would probably vary from each person. I don't know. also it just makes them feel that they have the upper hand, that even if they were doing something that they secretly thought may not turn out, or maybe a negative, or even if it was not really above board, shall we say, they know they're safe because they're all collaborative together, so they support one another, so they know that they can't be held responsible even if something bad happened to, like even if I drop dead tomorrow, they're not going to be held responsible, and they know that they're in the clear, they know they're safe. Or if something happened to any other human. I know how all these things happen because I see it as a matrix, so I don't see anything as accidents. But they're not responsible because they're just your little normal people getting around. But even so, I say at the moment, maybe some of them might be starting to wonder, and they should wonder too. But they probably won't. Or maybe they will. In some parts of the world, maybe they are. I don't know because I don't keep track of it. But probably not in Sydney, because in Sydney because there is so much of this in Sydney, they do feel that they're, and either way they probably think, hey, even if there is some doubt, they probably still say, oh, we must at least be 90 or 90%, 95% in the clear. So maybe if there's a doubt, it would only be a small one. So they're not going to change their tune or their actions, are they? They're not going to stop being part of the Lost Patrol because they're going to say, what other patrol could we be part of? We can't exactly, we won't expose that we're part of a Lost Patrol that actually is a negative for me, for instance. But they're like, we're not going to, collaborate with her. We're not going to openly support her and stop all this suppression because they might not even see it as suppression. It depends on how much each one knows about what the other one is doing. But I find it hard to believe that if it's local and that they're all doing different things, they're all negative things for a human being. Some very negative. Some very, very, very negative. You might say, oh, if I'm just walking past someone and watching them, what harm is there in that? I haven't touched the person, I haven't harmed them physically. Well, there's truth to that, but it's harassment and it makes a person feel angry and upset and suppressed and as though they're not in a real world. No privacy. No respect at all for another person's just harmless ability to walk down the road. Seriously. I just walked down there to get a loaf of bread and some milk or a cup of coffee. That is the limit of my reality. That is what I do. And that is something that the Matrix sees as, a dangerous activity or something. This is what it's come to. This is what our reality has come to. This is what a Matrix is. In fact, whenever if any problem happens when I do go down to get that milk and the bread, it's because I've got Matrix people surrounding me putting on their stage plays that bug you to where you might get angry or agitated. People come into your face, or if, they're blocking you and that sort of thing, on a continual basis. If it was just, like I say, these sorts of things just happened, even once a week or once whatever, you'd just dismiss them. You'd laugh them off, and you wouldn't even take them seriously. You wouldn't. But if it's 24 hours a day, every day, on, and you know that it won't stop. It's the rest of your life, And I'm not exactly young, so I was hoping to at least live a wee bit in the few years that are left. So it's like that, and but they don't see any harm in it because they're like, hey, this is, and even if they do, they don't care. But like I say, some might wonder if the bigger world closing in a little bit maybe on them to where they're like, what? I don't know. that would be wishful thinking on my part, but I must fold up. My hand is, oh dear. I can hardly even press the button to turn the thing off. But the last thing on that billboard, thank you to all you frontline workers. They're not frontline of any sort. Yes, they're in my face and in the front line, but they're not putting themselves at risk. It should be the other way round. Human beings are the ones that are being forced into a frontline situation that we want nothing to do with. You know, they're not physically being hurt, I wouldn't think. They're not being restricted in their freedom. If you choose to be part of an army, you have chosen that life, that restriction. I haven't chosen it. I don't want it. I've lost it here. I got angry. I'm sorry about that. Apologise. But, you know, I don't want to be in the middle of their matrix battle, and yet I am. Not only in the middle of it, but surrounded and not even doing anything, you know. Like it shouldn't be a war to have to go and get a bottle of milk or a loaf of bread. That shouldn't be something that requires a major effort. It shouldn't be that you feel that you have to get through enemy lines just to get to the shop. I know that sounds ridiculous, and it sounds as though I'm exaggerating, so I look out of touch. And I do get that. But that's because you're aware of the matrix. If you're aware, like I say, if you're aware of all the signs, if you're aware of all the people, if you're aware of all the colours, if you're aware of the traffic, if you're aware that it is a controlling force around you. Whereas if you weren't aware of it, it would just seem like an annoying, busy kind of busy suburb or city. But all I can say is that it wasn't this busy 3.5 years ago. There wasn't as many people on the street all the time. That's the difference of how you can tell a matrix opening up as opposed to what you would have considered a normal world before. Before, you wouldn't have people, if you have, like I say, the park down here, if you hardly ever saw someone sitting in the park. In fact, I don't think I ever saw hardly anyone ever sit in that park. I know it's a big park just down on the corner there. And if you didn't see a lot of people walking through it, if you were usually the only one walking through it, because I have to walk through it to get home or to go to the shops. And particularly after dark, and particularly if you were there like late of a night, which I used to walk all different times, and you see people, it's never where there isn't people in it or around it, and extra cars going up just the street down here, late of a night, all through the night. You know, where they never did. Because there's nothing for them to go to. There's a few houses, and, you know, usually most people are in bed. I used to be one of the few people up like on a weeknight at 2 or 3 in the morning. You know, and all I'm saying is it's comparison. Otherwise you can't show the difference between a matrix or what you would think was a non-matrix. Oh, my hand is filled with strange pain all down it. Oh dear. Oh, I think that mobile has got me. It's cost me a bit to make the phone, but the frequencies are coming through that mobile into my hand at a pain level. That is actually true. Because I can hardly move that hand. I'm holding it with one now, and even it is starting, which, of course, I can't explain that. And I don't intend to, because I don't understand technology. I don't understand technology. But I feel technology. You know, I don't have to see it. I feel it. You feel it in your body. It exists. It's a bit like if you see the matrix, you see... you know, collaborative people and cars and all this, that is seen. That is not out of touch. It's just a matter of what people will make of it. If you want to dismiss it or rationalise it, look for an unrational reason to rationalise something that isn't rational or logical, that can't be explained in a logical way because it doesn't fit the narrative of a logical real world. It is a technologically controlled matrix. 100%. If it don't control with technology 100% directly, it controls people by their use of technology at the very least. That's at the very least. You know, that's at the very least. I must fold up. Like the billboard says, thank you to all you frontline workers. Well, perhaps I should thank anyone that that isn't a frontline worker. You know, I'm folding up. My hand is sore. Sorry about such a confused, ridiculous video. Wasn't even intending to make one. And sorry if I'm a bit loud. But the Matrix is always loud. Its people talk loud all the time. They talk loud on the street. That's another thing about Matrix people. If they're on the street and they're talking to someone next to them, you can hear them a block away because they talk extra loud, because they go to acting school and they project because they want you to hear everything they say. They want to sidetrack you and draw you into them or into awareness of them, so that you're never just walking around freely thinking to yourself and relaxing. You're always aware of matrix people, matrix vehicles, matrix technology around you all the time, one way or another. And if you're unlucky, you're aware of all of those things all at once, because the matrix, has decided to open up fairly at as many levels as it can freely be allowed to openly use and and express to you at a given time, because the matrix has to play by a certain amount of rational rules or a certain amount of real rules to some extent, so that people don't notice that it is too much of a matrix, as I've said before. But don't forget that can change too, because as you know, that's why some people might be wondering, because the matrix at the present time is starting to break a few of the rules, because it's bringing in a slightly more restrictive reality. So if it's acceptable to have a more restrictive reality, then it can expose itself more openly. Whereas, 3.5 years ago, when the matrix first started to expose itself to me, it wouldn't have been as prominent as what it's now starting to become, because it had to covertly openly expose itself to me, but still remain covert to other people like myself, if you know what I mean. I don't think I'm explaining this well, and I'm yucking and getting wound up like some sort of, like those toys that you wind up and they go on, because I'm a bit upset. And yes, there's people running up. You see, there again, like I live in a small street, and yet to have that many people, like even to have a lot of people going past the door like that, which is noticeable. It's like, where do they all come from? Because they can't all live in the street. So you're like, is everyone in this street just happen to have 1,000 friends and 1,000 relatives, to where the street is always packed with more people than what seems logical? Like I say, when I lived, before I lived here, I lived with my family, and I lived on a busy road, and yet you didn't have people always coming out of their houses, always on the street, people playing, walking down the street. You didn't have all that, Of course, that was a long time ago. So you'd say, well, times change, suburbs change. Of course, I know that's true too, so that makes me look stupid. But anyway, I'd better go.